Welcome to London College of Communication's Postgraduate Portfolio Advice session. My name is Lynsey Fox and I am a senior lecturer here at London College of Communication, primarily in the School of Media and Comms. However, in addition to this, I work as a PG coordinator who, along with two counterparts, review all postgraduate applications that come in along with the course teams. When pulling together this presentation, I spoke with my two counterparts from each of the schools and we looked at all the best advice we have for applicants, any pitfalls that we see regularly. So hopefully you will find this session very useful. Applying to London College of Communication. Now, London College of Communication, as you know, is part of University of the Arts London, one of the largest arts institutions in Europe. But each of the colleges has their own identity, and this is LCCs. And I thought it was important to include this in to inspire you when you are pulling together your portfolio. LCC's mission is challenging and inspiring others through powerful narratives bravely told. And I really like this because it sums up what we want to see from applicants. We want to see your stories. We want to see boldness. We want to see you challenging how you think and how you talk and how you deliver your messages. So as we give advice, please do come back to this, these powerful narratives bravely told. So what is the purpose of a portfolio? First thing is to display your enthusiasm and your research. When we are looking at applicants, what we want to see is that you're really enthusiastic about your chosen field. We want to see the work that you've put in. It's also an opportunity to demonstrate your skill and technical abilities in whichever discipline you're looking to go into. And it also gives us a sense of your influences and inspirations. That is what really intrigues us. What makes you you? Why have you decided to do what you're doing? What background are you doing when you are producing your creative content? And this will be very unique to you. And that's what we would like to see. And what does your portfolio show? It shows your ability to work with different themes and different materials. Now, each course has its own specifications and has its own requirements, so we do actively encourage you to make sure you are looking at the course pages before you apply. But we want to see all of your multiple skills. We want to see how you respond to different themes, what interests you. Your portfolio also looks at, so your technical and your visualization skills. Your curation and editing skills. This is a really important one, and we'll reiterate this as we progress. But your portfolio is showing, one, the wide range of your skills, but the best of your skills. So we don't want a portfolio absolutely stuffed full of everything that you've ever done. What really makes a good portfolio stand apart is how you've curated it, how you've edited it, how you've cut it down in order to show the best of yourself. This is a quality over quantity process. And we also want to see your research and your interpretation skills. So how do you, as we've said, how do you respond to certain briefs? How do you respond to certain themes? What your background is, what your research is, and how your take on things, your personalised take on things. So what kind of things should you include? Your best pieces that demonstrate a wide range of skills. I mean, that really is. So pick your favourite pieces, pick your strongest pieces, and ones that have multiple levels of skill. So this is something that will be up to your curation and editing skills, but you might find that your strongest pieces, we tend to go for what we call preference over priority, where the things that we're really good at, show lots of those. So that is important, but do make sure you're demonstrating as wide a range of skills as possible, even if they're not your favourite pieces. Do include your research and your inspirations. Any recent work, again, the more recent the better. Any independent work. So some of you will be in a position where you will have work from undergraduate, or some of you may be working professionally, that you'll have your own work. Some of you, this might be purely your own areas, things that you've worked on yourself, but we want to see independent work, and also, if you have it, any group work. So if you are including any group work, we want to see what your contribution to that group work is, And we also want to see your opportunities for experimentation. So thinking about, as I say, your key pieces. Now, how many items should I include? This is this piece of string. How long is a piece of string? Now, each course, as I said, has specifications, so do please follow them. Follow the course guidelines. But really, it is a spread of different work. So anything, as we've said, that shows the best of what you have to offer. Some sketches, it doesn't all have to be finalised pieces. Consider each of the skills that you wish to demonstrate. So before you start doing and pulling together your portfolio, maybe sketch out some lists. What are the things that you definitely want to show? Prioritize those. And then also avoid repetition, as we've said. And just some key points to include as well. Evidence your research. So where have you taken these inspirations from? Why have you done them? What is your history? Again, it's always fascinating to see the work that goes behind a submission. So make sure you're including your evidence of your research. Make sure you're showing as many skills as possible and highlighting those. We will stress here, ensure it is your own work. Certainly if you've taken inspiration from others or you're working in sort of mixed methods, things that can sometimes be easy to slip in others. So just make sure everything you're putting in is your own work. And if it is group work that you're including, make sure you are mentioning that others worked on that. And also explore different methods. So, for example, if you're applying to one discipline, try many different things within it, not just your favourite. Now, the big one is balancing process with perfection. The pressure to have a perfect portfolio is immense, and we appreciate that. But we want to see your work and your process. Embrace those imperfections. Not everything needs to be final, as I say, sketches, things that you could develop. You want a mix of final work and some of your work in progress. Balance your work and consider the priority. So again, there's not an exact formula, but maybe starting with your stronger pieces, including some of your sort of more experimental or research based, and then maybe finishing with something really strong. And there's different ways of approaching it. If you're using secondary resources, do ensure that you credit them. It's required academic practice, so just be aware if you are using other resources. And consider the flow and presentation of the information. So those priority of messages, thinking about the course leaders and the course teams who are reviewing your applications. What do they want to see? I mean, a big part of any creative brief is thinking about who your audience is and what they want. So think about your course leaders or the course teams as your audience. What kind of information do they want? What will they take away from looking at your portfolio? What questions might they have and how can you answer them? And just some tips and advice. Check each course's portfolio requirements. There are differences between the courses and they can be slight. And if a course is very competitive, not following the guidance can be the difference between getting an offer or not. That might sound very, very harsh, but our courses can be incredibly competitive. So make sure that you are following all of the guidelines and building on those. You kick yourself if it's a silly mistake. This one is a more practical one, but a really important one. I'll go on and talk about PebblePad in a second, but PebblePad is our third-party platform for submitting your portfolio. And some of you will be putting links in there. So if you are putting links, please, please, please ensure this came a massive plea from my counterpart in the design school particularly. Make sure that links are pasted separately and not embedded into the PDF. This is because they get flattened when they go onto PebblePad and we can't copy or paste them, we can't click them. Ideally, if you've got any video work, you're uploading it directly so it can be reviewed in the application rather than just say a Vimeo or a YouTube link. But if you are doing that, that's absolutely fine. There are size requirements, but do make sure you're copying the link in separately rather than a PDF. And we'll just put this, please, it may look less aesthetically pleasing in the portfolio, but it saves a huge amount of time, and you're not putting yourself at a disadvantage in case your link can't be opened and your work cannot be viewed. So if you take nothing away from this session, please take this part away. Do keep videos to a 3-minute maximum. Succinct, well-considered video and much more engaging. It can be tempting to go significantly over because you've got so much to talk about and you want the course teams to see, but keep, as I said before, we're looking at your curation and your editing skills. Being able to stick to a brief and being able to tell a story in a really succinct manner is vital. So please do keep your videos to a 3-minute max. And where appropriate, add subtitles, because this helps add context and intention, particularly for the screen-based courses, so film, animation, and games. It also shows an additional skill that you have, and it shows a really good consideration for your audiences as well. But it is really important that you, as I say, where appropriate, add subtitles. And as we said, show evidence of group work. Now, some of you may not be working in a group, and that's absolutely fine. Please don't feel any pressure to add stuff in that you just don't have experience of. But if you do, collaboration is a key aspect of creative industries, and any course at postgraduate level at LCC, collaboration plays a big part. So if you have an opportunity to talk about this, do include group work, but make sure your contribution to the groups is clearly outlined in the portfolio. So include a description of what you did and also how you collaborated, what you learned from it, having that bit of reflection. Often there's something we ask within the courses. How did it work? Why did it work? What would you take into future group working experiences? So if you do have an opportunity to include collaborative work, do include this reflective piece as well. Any self-taught skills that you have are a bonus. So showing evidence of teaching yourself by following YouTube tutorials, free software trials, it makes your application more valuable because it shows commitment and enterprise to the discipline. So perhaps you stick to one, but you want to show where you've experimented using another software or something you're adding to your practice. Please do include that. Particularly if you come from a different discipline or a region where little formal provision in the subject area you're applying for. So again, these sort of self-starter, self-taught can add a huge amount of value. So even if you're not perfect at this, please don't underestimate how much work you've done and how good it is to see someone trying. This could be written about the personal statement or in the video mentioned in the video task, or evidence in a show reel of technical skills depending on what the course asks for. But just to reiterate what I said earlier, embrace your imperfections. If you're not perfect at all of these, that's absolutely fine. You're coming to learn, but to talk about how you're developing those skills. And then some more practical stuff about uploading your portfolio. So as we mentioned, PebblePad is our third-party platform where you upload your portfolio. The sizes accepted are on the screen. This is also going to be emailed to you. So images, audio and video, you can see here the different files that we'll take, but not only will this be emailed to you, it's also listed on the website as well. And then we look at the sort of following file sizes as well. So if you are uploading video, if you are having to embed links, etc., do take into account the sort of size limits. But if you are, again, just to reiterate, because there's a huge plea, make sure that you are pasting those links rather than embedding them into the PDF. So with PebblePad, follow the login details issued by the university, but please note that the UAL portal where you apply, the login for PebblePad is separate. So when you are sent various emails for applications with login details, do save them all so that you have access and be aware that they are two different platforms. And the other big one is it's not possible to make changes once you've submitted your work. So take time. Biggest advice, and as I say, maybe before you're pulling it all together, list out all of the key skills you want to demonstrate. As I said, prioritize those key skills. Make sure that you are saying, well, this is something that really I want from the course, that the course wants from me. This is something that I want to show. Make sure you're aligning it with the course pages. So the courses that you're applying for, look at those course descriptions, look at some of the work that is outlined. Each course page outlines modules that you will be taking, the units you'll be taking. Look at those key skills, and try and align your portfolio with those required skills. So prior to submitting it, make sure you have all of this. You look at your priority, look at your wide range of skills that you want to demonstrate, and then start pulling together, thinking about the flow. Um, we are aware it is a challenge, of course it is, and you want to show your best. But if I can, as I say, that going back to embracing your imperfections, being bold, telling interesting stories, you do not have to be perfect. Just show us your wide range of skills, justify everything that you're including, um, and yeah, be really aligned with the course pages. And you get portfolio advice. So if you go to arts.ac.uk/portfolio, there is a number of resources on there, one from previous applicants, previous students, some from tutors, some more formal advice as well. So visit UAL web pages to hear more advice on presenting and submitting your portfolio. Um, and if you have any questions as well, of course, you can email the relevant email addresses or speak to agents as well. And thank you for your time.